Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Firm. I'm here with Lance, First Ice Cayko. Yes, very exciting. I'm Al Carey, the show Gore.
Good.
First off, if you want to really hone in on your business and increase your profit and make it run smoother, I don't know a better way than learning from someone who's actually done it. Do you?
No.
Honestly.
No.
Especially in your area.
Yeah.
Especially in your field.
Yes.
Especially with a group of people that are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with someone who's taught it to them and they've gotten great results. Like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Go to buildabetterco.com. Check out our presentation or just reach out to me at akg@f9productions.com if you want to start that conversation.
If you can't find the product data you're looking for, you might be using the wrong search engine. Broad searches result in consumer products, out-of-date information, and websites that hide or don't have the information you're looking for. If you need specifications, CAD or BIM, arcat.com is your search engine. Find and download the up-to-date data that you need fast. arcat.com is free and requires no registration. So try Arcat today. That's ARCAT.com. Check those guys out. They support the show. You support them. They support us. Duratherm also defines the category of all wood, completely custom hardwood windows and doors that deliver on your architect vision. And everyone knows it. That's why they refuse to rest on their laurels. And while Duratherm brand is built upon their expertise in wood windows, they are proud to announce the introduction of a clad exterior feature for our windows. Learn more at durathermwindow.com. Al Gore.
All right. So we talked about last time that there was a ruling, and it was only in some states in the South that basically real estate people colluded. How dare they?
How dare they?
On their commissions to basically price fix. It's crazy. Price fix what it is. You know what's so funny? We could go on a small tangent if we have time on how the health insurance does that, which is crazy.
We don't really have time.
It's fraud. I know. It's total fraud. And the fact that they don't look into this is absolutely crazy. It's just cronyism. Anyways, the article is America pays $100 billion in real estate commissions, but get ready for a 30% cut on that, experts say. So that same group that sued and won an $1.8 billion verdict is now taking that national.
Yeah.
So home buyers and sellers had a big week. Significant changes to how and how much they pay real estate agents became more likely after the $1.8 billion verdict Tuesday against the National Association of Realtors and Large Residential Brokers, right? So the lawsuit and two others could lead to a 30% reduction on the $100 billion that Americans pay each year in real estate commissions, said Ryan. So that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah. This will be the catalyst, Ryan told the Journal, because no one could break that cartel. Any thoughts that this is going national, this lawsuit, this is going bigger?
I think so. It seems like a snowball effect. I mean, we've been hearing about it for about a decade, it seeps like. We've been doing the show for like 7-8 years, and I feel like we've talked about it all the way throughout that. It makes sense. I think people here's what if it boils down to just people have been boiled for so long, right? They're the frog in the pot, and they're actually noticing, unlike the frog, you know, the fable, the metaphor that's made with that whole scenario, where they're like, they just can't afford houses, and they're sick of it, you know. I had dinner with a colleague up at North Dakota State one of the nights, and she makes like half good points because like she makes half good points, and they just need to be, they're sort of like, you can tell they haven't been checked before, right? And as soon as you check them, it's like, she goes, oh. I go, yeah. I go, I'm with you, but your slant is different. So the point she was making was, she goes, I said, Well, yeah, like because she was blown away that in our studio we were doing 50% affordable housing, and she was like, "Oh, when I worked in San Francisco, it was 18%, in Denver it was 12%." I go, "Yeah. We're not designing to the code. We're designing to, like, the idea is could you make an affordable housing project work if you do it in this kind of way?" And she said, and then we got on the tangent of the housing crisis. I go, how else are we going to solve the housing crisis? We don't really dive into micro units and get it done and all that. Well, there is no housing crisis.
Oh, it's time out.
And I go, what do you mean by that? Because like when she says stuff like that, she's like a shock artist. What I've drilled down on her and like assessed her with a big brain, high IQ I have.
It's huge.
It's hey, carrying around this brain.
Yeah,
difficult.
A lot of oxygen.
Difficult. Like my neck, you can't see. Like my collar hides them most days, but it's a big problem.
If you zoomed in, it would be like what are those cartoons with SpongeBob? They zoom in on his abs, and all of a sudden he has abs.
Yeah,
he's a sponge.
That's what you got to do. Zoom in.
Yeah, you'll see it.
It's like, what do you mean? I know, Al, you shrieked. I did too inside, and I go, what do you mean? She goes, it's the market. She goes, do you know how many vacant houses there are in the market? I go, I agree. Or are off the market? I go, I agree. That the market is making it such that the current market is making it such that these are unaffordable for people, so they just sit on the market, all the empty space. You've heard this about commercial real estate for a long time. And I go, yeah, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Like, yes, you can point to. I go. The simple solution is end the Fed. I've said that a million times, and all of that. And I go, but that is the market. That is what the market drives currently. I go, so that's a separate argument, getting rid of cronyism. However, that's what I'm getting at is it plays into. I wonder if it's everybody's recognizing how unaffordable housing is. If you're trying to get into a new house. And I wonder if this is one of the like backlashes. In other words, I'm not sure it mattered where the backlash occurred, but a backlash was coming.
These are all great points. So 144 million homes right now.
Yeah.
10% of that
is vacant.
Is vacant. So that's 14 million. Right? There's a vacancy rate.
And how many and we're short
$6.5 million home.
Yeah. That's right. So she does have a point. I agree.
And sorry, I was looking all this up. And here's the part. It's kind of like unemployment. They say unemployment is at 4.5%, right? Which anything close to 3 is like, oh, people are just kind of looking for jobs and things in between.
Yep.
So why do we have a homeless problem? You know what I mean? Like if the job rate is so low that you can get a job. Mm-hmm. So that we'll pause that for a second. So your counterpoint to the vacancy rate of 14 million homes when we need 6.5 is
that's the market, right? And so like, what is the market? And so then the next thing I said like when you critique capitalism, Jay, I'm gonna call her Jay. When you critique capitalism, I need you to unpack that for me. Are we talking about pure capitalism or are we talking about crony capitalism? And I go, because right now it's crony capitalism. This form of capitalism, although I and Al have built several businesses in this way and lifted ourselves out of not poverty, but like we've lifted ourselves up, our families, our employees, all of that. It is mostly a positive thing for us. It is still not the version that I would like in an ideal world.
Yeah.
So you can be an idealist over here, and I can also be a counter idealist over here. And the current system that we're in right now, where you have the Federal Reserve creating all that money constantly and decreasing the value of your home, the value of your dollar, and at the same time, anybody who's any kind of a smart investor or just person goes, well, then real estate's my only hedge against this inflation, right? So if real estate is my only hedge against this inflation, and then you add in the BlackRocks and these big corporations, right? Like make me theocratic king, and I will ban BlackRock from owning anything. Oh, I will just break them up. They will go to jail. Yeah. Like big problems. You can't, like, if you're going to blame the system, then let's drill down on the problems of the system. And I think that's the reaction. That's part of the reaction in this Yahoo Finance. That's what I'm getting at is like, this is one of many reactions that's coming. There's going to be a reactionary culture. There has to be at some point.
So this is a great point. Like the problem is the system is where both sides agree upon. But I think we'd have to dive deeper on that, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll research a little bit more. But that vacancy rate, stuff like that,
Kind of blows your mind, huh?
Well, because like 3 to 4% of it is probably just the buffer of what the market needs because people need to move, people have second, right?
Kind of the grease.
Yep, 3 to 4% is probably the
Totally
grease,
makes
the
sense.
minimum grease, right? And then there's probably 3 to 4% of that, Lance, which is secondary homes, and that's where we'd have to look in if they're counting that.
Like you own a second home.
Like my parents have a cabin.
Sure.
You look at Utah, you look at Aspen, you look at all these places. Like their second homes are better than any of our first homes. You know.
Yep. What in that category, was Airbnb involved? Are they not involved?
Yep. And then there might be a percentage of on top of the grease that are just kind of stuck. Meaning, I bought it for $500,000. I can't sell it because it's 8% interest rates. Like the grease isn't moving, so it's clogged up a little bit. So anyways, very interesting. Let's talk about the system. This is what's hilarious is that where the far left and the far right can agree is anti-establishment. Now, there's a lot more issues in between that, but basically like the cronyism, both sides don't like. And it's funny because the Republican debate just happened. And
Vivek crushed
the system, which is like BlackRock, and all these that basically want to placate.
I will ban BlackRock.
Well, and here's why.
You might think I'm this huge go corporatism. No, anti-corporate.
Because even on the left side, they say they literally promote Black Lives Matters and all that. And then they're the ones buying up the houses and gentrifying and pushing up prices. Like they're doing exactly the opposite of what they're saying, right? So every single corporate media said Vivek lost and like Haley won. And Haley wants to go to war with everyone, right? All the Republicans that actually watched it or were actually there were like, what are you talking about? Like 80% said Vivek won. 80%. It's just like literally clear lying or biased or so much bias that they don't even have perception of like what's going on. I literally need to call like my parents because they are, the older, more normal Republicans and ask like who. They probably didn't even watch it. But anyways,
they got nothing to do in Minnesota. Who are you kidding? They don't even ice fish in Minnesota, so they got nothing to do.
I'm trying to make the point
I hope the old
that
man,
there's common ground. I know.
Yeah. Like Old Man River, like you listen to the show.
Does he?
Leave that comment. Yeah. Tell me you've listened to it.
Okay, let's continue on this. Okay.
Good. I like this theme today.
Right now, next article, this is the least affordable housing market since 1984, and it's getting worse. So this is what my parents were talking about. Did your parents move into their house that we know, like, around the same time or before?
No. They got the super low rates.
Okay, they were before this.
We moved there. Yeah, let me just think about this. Probably 92, 91. So it would have been.
Oh, after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is when they got their true first mortgage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And only. One and only.
Yeah, good.
It's all paid off. It's all paid off.
Good for them. So it now takes nearly 41% of the median household monthly income to cover the principal and interest payments on a medium priced home. So it used to be you should have been around like 30%. So it's the highest since 1984. That number is hilarious because of the book 1984. And it's because the interest rates are higher. Again, I think who the Fed needs to go after is the government, and you can do that by not buying the government bonds, and you don't have to worry interest rates. One thing that's happening, it's kind of crazy. Like gas prices are going down, which normally, and supply is not going up. It's not like OPEC is introducing more supply. They're actually cutting. So when OPEC is not producing more, and prices going down, it indicates a weakening in the economy because it's not just the U.S. market. All the other countries are using a lot less oil, right? So it's kind of like a precursor to that. If OPEC and us were producing a whole bunch, And it was going down. It would just be, oh, we're producing a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Anyways, and stock market is going up. Bitcoin is going up. It's at like 36, 37. Just crazy. So like it's kind of like a weird world right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what that leads into is the next article, which is more home buyers back out of deals as mortgage rates hit 23 years high.
Yeah.
Roughly 53,000 of U.S. purchase agreements fell through in September, according to Redfin. That's 16.3% of homes that went under contract. 16%, like under contract.
That's a crash. I look. I have argued the both sides of it and slapped around libertarians on this show about like the sky's falling. It's a crash. Like, yeah, I agree. You're over 10%. It's a crash. We're here.
So that's the highest.
But that doesn't. But hey, have prices crashed? No, 1%. Yeah. That's it. And it goes back to the earlier part of the conversation. Like, what's the hedge against all this inflation? Real estate, or gold, or Bitcoin.
Yep.
Something hard. Yep.
That's the highest percent of canceled contracts since October 22, when it surpassed 7% for the first time in 2 decades. It's also up from 15.2% a month earlier and 15.8% year earlier.
Can I just say what I think this all means for architects and builders? I think it really it just reinforces for me once again, like we're gonna be reusing a lot of buildings. So I think the new builds are gonna get more rare, and that is what it is. So however you're marketing yourself on your website, if you're writing blogs about ADUs, if you're writing blogs about being a remodel architect, an addition architect, same thing for the contracting side of things. People are just they have golden handcuffs because of the interest rates. So that's what this all means is like when Alex and I talk about all this stuff, it's we're recognizing the macro effects, which then have an effect on you in a micro way because you're just a small firm or medium firm architect, right? Maybe Oz is listening to this. I don't know. But that's what it means is like how are you positioning yourself for where there is any movement at all going on and people are doing stuff. And I'm seeing what I'm seeing on my end, I don't know about Al, is a lot of little things. A lot of, hey, I just want to add a bedroom and a bathroom because I need to rent it out to somebody in my house. Hey, I'm opening a business, but I'm doing it as lean as possible. I need to add an addition to my house because my mom and dad are moving in. Like, people are just reconsolidating in that way. But this whole new house stuff, if you get those clients, good for you on the building side and the design side, they're just increasingly rare.
Yep. And so the economic outlook where the money supply is so high that people can keep claiming GDP is going up and all that. Yep. What it really is, and that's the evidence of it, it is less for more money. It's less house, less transactions, less food for more money. So, hey, people spent more money on food, more money on houses. Yeah, but for less of the quantity. So, like, if you just measure the amount of money that's going through, like, that's kind of detached itself from an economic indicator. Like, hey, let's say car sales go through the roof in prices, right? And great news. The government says car prices are the highest ever, blah, blah, blah. But it's all for used cars or old cars, or like instead of you getting like an awesome car, you get a shitty car for more money. Like, they need to change the metrics.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Which they won't, obviously. Yeah. Gotta pad the numbers.
You got something about mortgage rates though next. So are we seeing relief on the horizon, Mr. Gore?
Slightly.
Nice.
So that's where we're going. Average rate of 30-year mortgage decreased to 7.5 from 7.76. So that is a slight decrease. I think it broke 8 just, like once, probably for like a day. So whoever that day got it at 8%, that's probably the highest it ever went. But it went down slightly.
Yeah.
And the more it goes down, the more liquidity opens.
My contention is like there's a psychology for like numbers, right? It goes back to the whole Walmart psychology. I wonder if I can pull that up. Walmart pricing strategy. Perfect. Where they talk about, maybe they don't have it. Okay, it's the low price stuff, right? Where they're showing like $2.88 versus $2.99 or $3, right? Where you're just dropping and getting that number so it looks like a deal.
Yeah.
And it's sort of this happy balance for like the big corporation like Walmart and you, the consumer. You think you're getting a deal, and Walmart's still making like 10-20% or whatever like that. I think the same thing is going to happen with mortgage rates. People want to move. People have to move. People are still wanting to do all that stuff. People lives are changing in that kind of way, and they need to, right? All the baby boomers, they want to sell. They want to get out, get their cash. The millennials and Gen Z want to move in, right? So as soon as we see like a rate difference where it goes from like, well, I think you even said it. It was at 8 for a little bit, then it went to 7. If you go from 7 to 6,
yeah,
people just need to feel like they're not completely getting ripped off. I don't know what that psychology is, but I know I've talked about it before.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, what do we got next?
Let's bring down to the team for A.R.E. Jeopardy. Ready?
Yep.
Question numero uno. Boop. Which of the following sustainable design strategies would be most effective in minimizing heat gain and maximizing natural daylight in a commercial office building located in a hot climate? Is it A, green roof installation, B, high performance glazing with low solar heat gain coefficient? Is it C, exterior shading devices on the east facade? Is it D, increased insulation in exterior walls? My battery is running low. Okay, what is it? A? B, high performance glazing with low solar heat gain. Natural light with low heat gain. Okay, I got to read this fast. Number 2, in the context of site grading, what is the purpose of a swale? A, provide a level surface for the building. B, to direct stormwater rain runoff away from the building. C, to enhance the aesthetic appeal through landscaping. Or D, to facilitate pedestrian circulation. Nice. B, to direct stormwater away from the building.
I got some layups. Here we go. Number 3, in accordance with the International Residential Code, what is the minimum allowable rise for residential stair treads? A, 4 inches. B, 4.5 inches. C, 6 inches. D, 5 inches.
Minimum. Ah, I think I
yeah.
know that.
Oh, come on. Still a layup, boys. Correct answer is 4. Yes. Yeah, you guys both got that, yes? Okay, good. I would hope so. Actually, we just got asked to do that in Colorado Springs at this potential project. Anyway, number 4, the greatest riser height within any flight of stairs shall not exceed by the smallest by more than how many fractions of an inch? Let me read that one more time.
Yeah.
The greatest riser height within any flight of stairs shall not exceed the smallest by more than how many fractions of an inch? Is it A, a quarter inch, B, a half inch, C, 3/8, D, half inch? CC? Yep. Okay, tiebreaker. Ready? Perfect. As you know, quickest to raise hand gets to answer, all that. Al's in charge of this. Tiebreaker. In high-rise buildings, fire pumps shall be located in rooms that are separated by all other areas of the building by fire barriers rated by a minimum of how many hours?
2.
Bingo.
Correct. Where are we going?
If you say 99 Saloon, trash. I went there last night, not good. What?
What?
Sloppy, just not good burgers. Like, honestly, Bing,
The
crushing
Mexican
it, killing
place.
it. Yes,
Why doesn't a place name themselves the Mexican place?
I'll
Get-
do it. I'll do it. I'll
Everyone
sponsor. I'll
will think
sponsor
you're
this show.
Mexican and
Well,
they're
welcome
not
to
even
Inside the
Mexican.
Farm. This is sponsored by the Mexican place. All right. If you like this episode, you know what to do. Positive comments, like, subscribe. See you next